in this episode.
That feeling is probably like the scariest feeling I've ever had, where your heart starts going boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden you feel like you can't find a word. And now all of a sudden all these million thoughts are going in.
But what happens if that's the thing that catapults you into something that's just unbelievable?
For sure. I even felt myself having a little inner hesitation to even do this podcast.
Let's finish it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Closing Pitch. My name is Spiker Helms, and I'm joined by my co-host, David Burkby. This show is about culture, people, and creating a winning lifestyle. Our goal is to bring a blue-collar mentality and deliver hard-hitting questions of culture and people. There's no hidden agenda, just straight talk. And before we jump into the topic, I would like to introduce Dave.
How we doing?
I'm doing really well. Doing fantastic.
Are you just saying that, or are you really doing well?
I'm doing fantastic. I am now created, I think, my 10th or 12th TikTok. So
That's all you're talking about, dude.
I'm all in on this. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. If you haven't been there, I know we talked about this, about the different phases of TikTok. I think I've passed all 5 phases. You now are in phase 2, so you're almost there.
No, I've downloaded it.
I know
have it.
You're in phase 2 right now.
I'm not about to do the savage dance yet.
You're gonna. Well, I know you have to binge watch for 4 hours, and then you're gonna be like, man, this is really cool. I think I could do this. And then next thing you know, you are going to be hopping on there and doing a rendition of Full House.
Well, listen, I know I'm not the cool kid in this conversation. I know that I'm like the old grandpa dad here, but it's growing on me. It's getting there. I know that's where people's eyes are. I know that's what they're thinking of.
Well, I know Dave's not going to be promoting his TikTok handle, but I will. Mine is @SpikerHelms if you'd like to follow me right now. This is going to be a fully promoted podcast on just my TikTok handle.
And with that, what's your closing pitch?
And we've gotten to almost 2 minutes. All right, but that's not the topic for today. The topic for today is talking about new ventures. And the reason I opened up with TikTok, because it is a very uncomfortable platform if you're a millennial, and if you're talking about older than that, 50, 60 range, jumping on TikTok and dancing and doing something that's out of your comfort zone is very, very scary. Mm-hmm. And I went through that phase with I don't know, I can't dance like that. I can't do that. What are my friends going to think if I say hey, I'm on TikTok, I'm going to promote my handle. This is a high school platform. I can't do that. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, what is my greater good? What am I trying to do? What am I trying to accomplish? It's to teach people. I want to teach people. Yeah. So if it's a creative way to teach people and fulfill the goal that what I want to do, which is to educate and inform and really promote this game, because this is the greatest game in the world, I think. Some people are going to argue with me that you're going to lose. But what I'm saying is I feel, and this goes for anything that you want to accomplish, whether that's your dream or you are thinking about, hey, I really want to take this acting class, but what are people going to think of me? Or I'm going to take this dancing class, but what is my wife going to say? Or I'm going to put myself on video and deliver a really emotional conversation and put it on the internet. That's scary.
It's super scary, man. It's something that I know I've dealt with a ton, whether it be from the standpoint of just putting yourself out on video. I don't know how many times I basically pushed you away and said, find another, poor character out there. I don't want to be that guy. Or maybe it's, public speaking, which I'm still not great at, but I want to get better at. Or maybe it's even this. I even felt myself having a little inner hesitation to even do this podcast. But what you said a minute ago really kind of resonated with me, and it was if your intentions behind doing that are to help educate, to help teach, to maybe pass along a phrase or something that it might stick with someone and help them. If your intentions are to help, then it helps calm that ease a little bit. Helps make it seem not so scary, but I mean, it is, because put yourself out there on a TikTok or a video or even this. I mean, you're gonna have people who judge you,
and when I say like I got on TikTok, like it sounds like so easy. Like, oh, Spiker just got on TikTok and did it. Like, no, like, and this goes with public speaking. I remember in high school and college, I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified of getting in front of people. And it was a lot of my insecurities. And I didn't realize it at the time. But I always admired people that could do it. I always looked at like movies and be like, man, that is so cool. Like, how is he able to jump up on that stage and just like do it?
Have you ever got that feeling when you're up there? I think everybody can kind of go with me on this one. That feeling is probably like the scariest feeling I've ever had, where your heart starts going boom, 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 boom. And then all of a sudden you feel like you can't find a word. And now all of a sudden all these million thoughts are going in like, what's he thinking about me? What's he thinking about me? I look stupid up here. Oh, God. And then all you want to do is run off that stage and
then
go
you,
to a safe place.
well, and then you end up botching it. Like, everyone's going to be bad at it. Everyone is terrible when they start. That's the whole thing about, like, I forgot who it was. I always say that. Like, I need to just do my research and really, like, okay, this is who said it. But I was listening to a podcast, and they said, just press record. Whatever, like, and this is a video podcast. Whatever you do, just press record. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be god-awful. Like, I look back at my YouTube videos I did for the Tigers, even the ones I did for Tournament Guy, and I'm like, holy smokes, this is embarrassing. And I leave them up there. You know why I leave them up there? To remind myself, like, this is where you came from. This is horrible right now. Like, how you conducted this interview, or how you shot this, or how you did this. It just reminds me of, like, okay, anything that I do outside of that, like, I have to keep going in that direction. Like, if I feel that nervous feeling, or if I feel like, okay, what are my friends going to say if I do this?
Spiker, that is a great perspective to have, and it's amazing that you have that. I will say this, you are one of the few who do. There are not many people who have that ability to push through those situations, understanding all that fear, that feeling, and not run in the opposite direction. You see it all the time. People will just flat say, I'm not doing this, because of the perceived notion out there of the judgment that might come from it, or people saying, why are you doing that? Or why, like, are you kidding? Like, why? What's wrong with you?
Well, and I get it. Like, we're tribe-based. I always say that. We're tribe-based. We're community-based. And it's scary. I get it. I totally get it. But, like, what happens if, like, that's the thing that, like, catapults you into something that's just unbelievable?
For sure.
But then, but here's the thing is, like, we're so tight-knit in our community. There's different communities around the world, right? There's so many different ones. What happens if you took yourself out of this community and put yourself into this community? This community won't judge you on what you're doing, what you're going to do, but they're judging you on what you're currently doing. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many different people out there. There's so many different communities. And that's what I think is that was like a big revelation for me, is like, yeah, these guys don't like what I'm doing right here, but this community loves it.
I was listening to another podcast. We mentioned podcasts a lot here.
Yeah.
And it's a comedian podcast. And one of the guys said, the best things that's ever happened to me is that I got up early in my career and I bombed in front of thousands and thousands of people. And I did this over and
I'm getting
over,
nervous right now
and
listening
I
to that.
hated it. Like, it was like, dude, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this anymore. But then he goes, everything else, like, in my life really seemed like the problems or the situations out there that maybe would cause me to feel like that exact thing, I didn't feel like it. And then obviously as you do things over and over, you get better at them. But he's like, I needed to bomb. I needed to fail. I equate that to me like I needed to get up on that camera for the first time that you made me do, and you made me do it. It wasn't me just willing to do it. You made me do it. I felt like I had to do it. I had to get up there and get through that. I had to just get through that bombing, that looking bad, losing my words, not really feeling like I could put sentences together, and just being like, dude, you can't put that out. And then you would. And then all of a sudden be over and over and over. I do it more and I get more comfortable with it. Yeah. And you get more assurance of why you're doing it. And that why is really important, like you said at the start.
Ravi, who is Shandi's brother,
Great guy.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, phenomenal guy, and it feels like I always learn something off of him. And we're the same age. Like like this is what I love about Shondi's family, is that they're totally different than my family and how I grew up. I that's what I love about them. If you don't know, my wife is Indian, and so I've literally deep dived into a culture and said, "Yep, I'm all in." But what's interesting about him is that he has no allegiances to a certain community. Like, he loves every community, but he has no allegiances to it, to where he's willing to go outside the box and be different, and being able to speak his mind, which is I struggle with that, and really speaking my thoughts. Like, he'll come out and he'll just say, like,
I used to super admire people like that.
Oh,
I
like-
still do.
like if you-
I think that's an incredible quality and
like,
trait.
I remember we were in Mexico City and we were just walking, and he looked at me and he's like, "Spike, you know what? You're really annoying right now." And just like literally left it like that. I was like, "What?" He's like, You're being a little," and then he like said the word, and I was like, "Okay." He's like, "You really need to fix what you're doing here." And this was like in the middle of the trip. I was like, all right. He was willing to like trash the whole trip, just being willing to have that whole awkwardness of like the rest of the trip, us flying back and everything like that, to really just point it. And I respect that. That's what is awesome. And that's what I've learned from him. And he did stand-up comedy. And he said when he did stand-up comedy, this was just out of like left field. When he did stand-up comedy, he learned more about himself in just those 3-4 minutes he was on stage than at any point.
It's like those people that don't want to be caged up and told what they can and can't do. And like, if you think about it in that context, it's like if you start worrying about all these people telling you you can't do this, I'm going to judge you for this, and you get all these different opinions on it, you're going to feel trapped. You're going to feel like, okay, I guess I'll just stay in my lane. I'm not going to go left. I'm not going to go right. I'm just going to go straight forever. And this is just going to be me.
And then that's just, I'm sorry, I think that's just it's a boring way of going about it life. Like, there's so many different things out there that people can just grab onto, and they don't know like they're actually good at it.
No, you didn't know you could do it.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, here's an example. In high school, I thought I was like the worst writer. And the reason I thought I was the worst writer is because my mom was very hard on me when it came to that. Like, I was just like, I don't want to write. I hate writing, because my mom was big on grammar. Huge. And she was a really good writer. And I got into high school and I was like, I don't want any part of this. And literally it took one teacher that gave me some positive feedback and just said, keep trying it. Just test it out. Just write this. Add this sentence. He said a little bit too much here, but hey, it's okay. You still got the storyline. The big thing is that story matters more than your grammar right now. And I think that's what a lot of people struggle with too, is like, is having that positive encouragement.
Yeah.
Like, if you're getting told like you did this wrong, you did that wrong, and like my mom was a great mom. She was phenomenal. Like, I'm not dogging on her, but what I'm saying is like just in that certain category, like it was an expectation of greatness early out of the gate, and I couldn't deliver on that. And it felt like it was more judgment than anything else. And I really couldn't become the writer that I knew I could become until I got that teacher. I think that's a big thing too, is like people get stuck in their tracks because they're told, hey, you're not good. You did this wrong. It's too much judgment, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, not someone who's not very like open-minded with new, because most people, just a very natural feeling for most is you're scared of different and you're scared of failure. Those two things, more than almost anything else, keep you from even trying. And I deal with that when I'm teaching a player. I try to, the first thing I say before we ever talk about results or anything else, when I'm having them do something new, I'm like, listen, you're probably not going to be very good at this. That's okay. That's understandable, because this is different. This is new. And you're not going to be great. And guess what? I'm not going to sit here and critique your results. We're not going to worry about those for a little bit. Put those aside. Throw them out of the equation. But what we are going to worry about is the process to what you're doing, and help you understand the feeling of something new. And then once you get that grasp, once you get that idea, then we'll bring the results back into the equation. Then we'll start to think about those. But that's the same thing with anything new, whether it's being on camera or TikTok or writing or whatever, there's no possible way you're going to ever just jump into something. Very few situations are going to be where you just jump into it and you're really, really good at it. It's more so going to take that work and that perseverance and kind of like drown out the noise of people telling you, that you're not very good at it or laughing at you or just, whatever judgment. You got to drown that out.
I think people overall have really good intentions. If they don't, and you start getting a sense of that, you should not. I repeat, you should not be hanging out with those people. Literally, cut them out of your life. They're toxic. They're poison. Literally, cut them out. I think overall, though, like 99% of the population is very they're good, they're understanding, they're in support of who you are as a person, and they want to see you succeed, and they're willing to poke fun at you to get you a little bit better. But I think those people that really put a lot of judgment out there and are look at Twitter sometimes. Twitter just destroys people
capital of the world.
There's this guy on Twitter right now that is just literally filling the earth with poison and literally just tagging all these baseball people in it and just trashing on. And I'm part of this thread, and it's like, man, guy, I want to tell him bro, stop doing this. I love you as a human being, but you are really being a real asshole, basically. And it's one of those things where if he goes after the wrong person and that person ends up taking it the wrong way, they end up not going after what they should be going after. That is the worst thing that someone could do to somebody.
It's one of the worst feelings for me personally, being around someone like that, or being around a judgment-filled person that just is always looking to bring someone down or bring down a situation. And just, that's awful, man. That's a terrible.
And it's different though, because you'll have I poke fun of you sometimes, you poke fun of me, but that's it's a fun thing. But I know that you're not deep down, you're not judging me and being like, Spiker's doing this. What a loser. No, it's you're poking fun of me because hey, you could be a little bit better. It's more of a brotherly type of poking fun of. But what I'm saying is there. A lot of people don't go after what they want to go after because they're so worried about their community. And their community is right now, if you're in a toxic community, they just know the original. They want the original kind.
You know what's funny about most of those people who are very judgmental and they're the ones who are scared most to do anything.
Oh, they have so much pain in their life.
They're the ones
so
that are,
pain.
If they're telling you no, or they're telling you you're stupid, or they're telling you you're this or that, or that you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that, or you should do this, they're the ones who are the most scared to do anything.
Yep. But again, that's the 1% of the population. I don't think there's that many people that are super
They're just
judgy.
willing to be louder than everybody else.
Yes, they're willing to be louder. And they basically solidify it as being okay, I'm a truth seeker.
To tear you down to build me up.
Yeah, I'm a person that speaks truth, where in reality it's no, you're not. You're not speaking truth. You're literally just warping it into a way where you make it think it's truth.
It's toxic, and I'll tell you this. I think what those individuals will find out over a longer period of time, they're going to be surrounded by less and less and less and less people.
Let's put it this way: how many people that judge are successful people?
Not many.
Name one. Let's just go through the list. Zero. There's zero people. If you are a judgmental person where you're judging everything and you're literally tearing down people and not building them back up, you're a loser. I'm sorry, you are a loser.
Because you are. It's that simple. And you're gonna find yourself alone. You're gonna find yourself in a room where no one's gonna be able to even listen to your opinions.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. I personally myself would rather fill up that room with optimistic people who people are going to let me or tell me to try and shine, to try and do that, to go after your dream, to go after what you're trying to do, to fight the uncomfortable, to fight the new, the different, and just go and dive into it and see what you can be, than be in a room full of people who are going to tell you to stop.
Yeah. There's a YouTuber that I follow. I loved his content for like the longest time. I thought he was just awesome. And then when you get really good, people start copying you. And a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy is not the original, and it's not as good. But, and not saying copying is a good thing or a bad thing. What I'm saying is that it was how he handled this situation. One of the guys that basically copied one of his videos did very similar things and did the same type of content. It was really well done. It was really, really good. The dude was a stud on how he created it. The thing is, he won't grow because he's not his own voice. But I stopped watching the YouTuber because of what he commented on the guy's video. And it was like, who do you think you are? And just started trashing him down. And what happened to that YouTuber is after that moment, he stopped growing at a rapid pace because he ended up becoming this judgmental person. I think everyone goes through that phase, but it's a big thing. Like, it's when people start copying you and they start trying to do what you're doing something very good.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
You're doing it right. And you look to keep building those buildings. Like if here's an example, like us, like when we start doing the regional program, if we have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 different types of clubs and they're trying to do the same thing that we're doing, I'm like, go for it. Build your buildings. I'm going to have the biggest building, but go ahead and build your buildings. Like, I'm not going to trash them down. I'm not going to like undercut them and say, who are these people?
Just think of it on a path to success. If you do choose to look back and throw shade and throw hate and, you know, say, hey, you're copying or you're doing this, you shouldn't be able to do that, you've stopped. You think they're stopping? No.
So, and I don't think you can ever stop someone who wants to go after something. Like, it's just, you can't do that because people should have the same amount of success. If they're as good or better than you, they should have the same success as you do. Because, I mean, that is capitalism to a T. Is like, if you are better than me, you win. It is a dog-eat-dog world. But the thing is I'm not going to try to undercut you. I'm just not going to do it. I want you to build your building. I'm going to build my building. Mine's going to be a lot shinier, though.
Well, and I think there's a lot of room for a lot of people to win.
Oh, there's different, and there's different kinds of customers. Different. Like, this is the big argument in business. Should I undercut the price, or should I keep the price the same? If you undercut the price, you're going after a different type of customer. You're going after a pricing customer. Here's an example. Walmart versus local shop here, or let's just use a national example. Walmart versus Whole Foods. Two totally different types of customers. Do you think the margins are a lot better at Whole Foods?
Sure.
Probably, more than likely. And in a lot of product, there's probably the margins are way better. Walmart, the margins are not as great, but they're going after bulk and they're going after the pricing customer. That customer is a person that always looks at, that's why they put on the tags 35 cents an ounce, 38 cents an ounce,
right? Because
they're going after that pricing customer. At Whole Foods, it's totally different. I'm going after value. I'm going after someone who is who wants to take care of their body at the highest point. And there's other stores out there, like even locally, like Straub's here. Straub's here is like the premium grocery store.
Yep.
They're not going after Walmart shoppers. And it's the same thing for anything else. Like, you have to understand, like, I'm going after different types of customers. I'm going after different types of things.
Yeah, I think we've kind of switched gears on this conversation, which is fine. But why can't they all coexist?
They can.
They can. Right?
There's different kinds of people. There's
Sure.
different types of communities. Let's kind of tailor this all together, is that there's different types of communities throughout the world. And even in just your population that you live in your world, there's different types of communities. And you have to understand that those communities trigger on different things. And the best person, and I always look at Ravi on this, is that you have to be able to transfer and being able to go from community to community to community, because then that opens up your horizons. That opens you up to being a better person.
Well, no, you're not scared.
You're not scared. Your perception is totally different. I'm able to jump on stage. It's not saying that you want to do that, but I'm just saying, like, if you have a desire, like, I want to go be the best economist. I want to be able to know banking.
Your stage is always different. It doesn't have to be a stage with a mic in front of people.
No, it doesn't.
Your stage is totally different. So many different examples.
So I guess we can go into our closing pitches. My closing pitch on this is that understand that the community that you're in right now seems like it's super large. It seems like it's made up of millions of people. But in reality, it's only a group of 5. And that group of 5, just catapult that out to the whole world. I mean, how many people are in the world? Like, what, 3 billion, 4 billion, 6 billion, something like that?
Sure.
Whatever the number is. There's so many different communities in different languages, different thought patterns, how they look, how they approach life. And if you're able to jump from community to community, you become a better person and you become the person that you're meant to be.
My closing pitch is this, that there are always going to be haters, judgers, just people who will always look to take you down, look to throw shade at you, look to tell you that you're doing the wrong thing, okay? And if you let them win, then you will just be on that straight path and that leveled out path forever. And you will be conscientious of everything that you do. You'll feel very scared to try new things. And ultimately, that doesn't sound like growth to me. When you start to think about something that you talked about at the start, where your perspective or why you're doing this, the why is I'm here to help, I'm here to try new things, I'm here to grow, and that's what I'm myself am trying to do, and I'm going to choose to do that. Then I'm going to rather go down that path. That's the path that I want. I personally think that path is going to be the one that's going to go up and have a real cool ride. So
totally agree. Guys, please subscribe to the podcast. Helps us out a lot. Also, give us a review, 5-star preferably, and let us know how you like the show. Also, you can follow us on our social medias. Obviously, my TikTok from the start of this is at Spiker Helms.
I do not have a TikTok. Well, I do, but don't follow mine yet. I don't even have a video.
I'm going to get Dave on there very shortly, so be on the lookout for that if you are on TikTok. But anyways, thanks, guys. Also, Anchor. It's the podcasting platform that we use. You can find our podcast on iTunes and Spotify, but Anchor has a really cool feature where you can send in your own audio wave on the closing pitch. If something triggered and you want to send in your closing pitch, give us a shout. Send us in that wave. We also accept direct messages. Just got to give us the AOK if you want us to put it on the airwaves. But till next time, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching or listening or both to The Closing Pitch. If you would like to get your closing pitch featured on the show, we use a podcasting app called Anchor where you can submit your statement or question via audio. Or what you can do is comment in the comment section of this post. We also accept direct messages. Please give us the AOK if you do send us a DM to use your statement or question on the show. Last thing, please give us a review on your platform of choice. 5-star preferably, and we value your opinion, and this allows us to reach more people. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you in the next episode.